For Mark Latham's Outsiders, I'm here in the inner Sydney suburb of Balmain. This was once the foundation suburb of the Australian Labor Party, but now all the left trendies are here. This is a suburb that is absolutely dripping with Trump derangement syndrome. The people here can't stand Donald Trump for a moment. They think he's automatic evil. I want to find out what they think about his airstrike on Syria, trying to save the lives of innocent women and children. Can the people here get over their Trump derangement syndrome and give the Donald some credit for doing something on the humanitarian front? What do you think of Donald Trump's missile strike on Syria that's designed to save innocent women and children?
Yeah, I don't think it is designed to do that.
Sorry?
I think it's a con.
Right, why is it a con?
I just think, he says all this stuff, to help other people, when in reality he's doing it to help himself.
No, I think there's better ways to do it.
And what ways are they?
I think through policy and probably negotiation.
Well, I think that he's probably reacting to a situation out of, shall we say, ego. I'm not sure it's going to save very many people. And there's been a lot of people killed by conventional weapons, and nobody's done anything about that, have they? And the deaths are going on. I'd like them to all talk. The Russians and the Americans.
I think it's atrocious.
Why is that?
Well, I think it's really important that you do that, but you end up attacking ordinary civilians. And, how do they know they're going to hit the right people?
But it was a military base from which the chemical weapons were launched.
Oh, right, okay. Well, in that case, I think possibly yes.
From what I've heard, it's a bit, there's not enough evidence.
Evidence of what?
Well, they're saying every report you read of it, they're saying allegedly. So I just don't think it's substantiated, or it might be a bit too much.
Allegedly there was a chemical strike on women and children.
No, they say allegedly this is where it came from. These were the people that did it.
Right, so do you think Trump...
That's only from what I've read, though.
Do you think Trump's done the right thing or the wrong thing?
I'm not really a big fan of what he's done, no.
Is there anything Donald Trump can do that's actually good for the world?
That I know of, no.
Upset the status quo.
Oh, yes, disappear.
Okay.
I have no idea. You have to wait and see.
No, probably get a haircut and wear a better suit.
Right, how would that help the world, do you think?
It would make him more pleasant to look at when he's on the news.
And that's a big concern. He's unpleasant at the moment. What about all the violence and carnage and death in Syria? Is that any less unpleasant than Trump's suit?
No, I don't think it's less unpleasant, but at least it lightens up some of the news stories.
Donald Trump's an idiot.
And what do you think of the military strike in Syria authorised by Donald Trump?
I think that we don't have the facts. I mean, everything that comes out of the Middle East is fuzzy as hell. I mean, we've got the weapons of mass destruction, and there's Colin Powell with a broken down looking caravan and trying to convince us that Saddam's about to strike and that he's 45 minutes away from a strike on the UK. You're kidding me.
When's that? That's 15 years ago, isn't it? What about the current circumstances?
You
think Saddam Hussein's still alive? Is that what you're saying?
No,
we haven't got the facts that he's dead.
No, that's a silly thing to say.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you don't believe anything that comes out of the propaganda machine of the US government.
So you don't think Saddam's necessarily dead? How do you believe that if you don't believe any propaganda?
You're not making sense. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, well, we don't know for sure.
You don't know for sure? So he's a lot stronger and more effective than Barack Obama, who did nothing about those other killings that you mentioned.
Well, no one else has done anything about him either, so you can't really single out Barack Obama. So you've got Congress, you've got 1,000 other people you can blame for that too, so I wouldn't put it on his feet.
But Obama was Commander-in-Chief for 8 years. You see, he's in charge of the American military and he did nothing?
And he's not in charge of the UN and they didn't do anything either, so there you go.
So it's pretty clear that for the inner city leftist elites, Trump derangement syndrome is a bigger factor than worrying about the needy people in Syria. They basically say, by and large, that the Donald can't do anything good. Not many people backing him here, even though obviously he's doing something on the humanitarian front for that troubled nation. Now, just in case you thought all was lost here in Balmain, they're too trendy, they're too left, they're too elitist, they're not going to look after the refugees, they hate Trump even when he's doing the right thing. Let me introduce the man who can save the day in Balmain. We've got to promote this guy for Mark Latham's Outsiders as the new Mayor of Balmain, our saviour.
So anyway, the car in front stopped, and as it stopped, I've hit it up the backside, and I've sort of stopped, and I got out the car, and I walked to the front of the car to see where the damage was. So I'm looking down at the car, and the guy in front got out, and it was a little guy, it was a dwarf. So I said, mate, are you okay? He said, I'm not happy. I said, really? I said, which one are you then?
There we are, the dwarf joke in Balmain. Who says that political correctness has overtaken this suburb? Magnificent, magnificent.
I got a taxi last night outside the Unity, and it was a lady cab driver, and she said to me, do you drink? I said, yeah, I drink. She said, how much do you reckon you drink? I said, well, you know, I've spent all my life in foreign exchange. I don't mind a beer. He said, how much do you reckon? I said, 15, 20 a day. She said, really? I said, yeah. She said, you know? I said, what? If you didn't drink and put all that money in a high-interest bank account, you could own an aeroplane by now. I said, is that right? I said to her, do you drink? She said, no. I said, where's your aeroplane then?
Mate, you have restored my faith in Balmain with your political incorrectness. How do you get away with it here? What don't the locals try and
from the
put...
biggest left wing to the biggest right wing, which is fantastic.
And you're with me?
I'm with you.
You're with Mark Latham's Outsiders, the only man in Balmain.
100%.
What do you like about our show?
No, you say what you think, and that's what people need. You're talking about Donald Trump, and he said what people needed to hear. You may not agree with him, but he said what people needed to hear. And it's no, it's what you got to do. You got to voice your opinion.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you on Mark Latham's Outsiders. Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much, Mark.